Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal. SMCI earnings is due on Tuesday next week. I did this financial and forward P analysis to understand the future price projections for SMCI after earnings. Let's get started. In this table, I put together the summary of the financial data for last 6 quarters and also the year-over-year change and the quarter-over-quarter change in column H and column I. Starting with the revenue, year-over-year, SMCI made a very good progress, but quarter-over-quarter, I do not see a significant improvement in the last quarter. So 3.66 versus 3.85. In fact, SMCI missed the revenue in the last quarter. Let's take a look. You see here, last quarter, they missed by 1.2%. So, besides earning, I guess revenue will also be in focus in the next earning report. And the revenue forecast is 5.31 billion for this quarter, and that is probably about 35% increase from the previous quarter. The previous quarter, the revenue was 3.85. So 3.85 versus 5.31 billion. I guess it won't be easy for SMCI to beat the revenue this time as well. Now, the net income, they didn't make a very good progress year over year. That's 52% decline, but quarter over quarter, they did a good job. Profit margin percentage, gross margin percentage, and EBITDA margin percentage. In most of these areas, SMCI has done a good job. You see these numbers? Except the gross margin percentage year over year, they have a decline of 12%. EPS actual, they did a good job both year over year and quarter over quarter. And also, they were able to beat the earnings in the last quarter. Free cash flow per share, not a good job. It's declining year over year and quarter over quarter. Debt to equity ratio is also not good. They have increased their debt in the last quarter, more than 200%. So overall financials are mixed for SMCI. In terms of the earnings, they are doing a good job, but on the revenue side and the debt side and managing the cash flow, they are not going in the right direction. Now let's take a look EPS data in more detail. I have this tab. In this tab, I have EPS projected and EPS actual for last 7 quarters and also the earnings surprise. In the last 4 quarters, they were able to beat the earnings. In the next 4 quarters, the earnings projections are going up with the exception of Q3 2024. And these are calendar quarters. So Q2 2024 versus 4 quarters from there, that is Q1 2025, the percentage change is just 2.96. So next 4 quarters are not expected to be very exceptional for SMCI in terms of the earnings compared with Nvidia and AMD. Probably that is one of the reason SMCI is going further down versus other AI stocks when overall market is under pressure since past few days or weeks. Now let's talk about the forward P and try to evaluate or calculate the price projections for SMCI after earnings. In this table, I put together the adjusted closing price for SMCI for last 30 days and also the forward EPS, trailing 12-month EPS, and I also calculate the P ratio with respect to trailing 12-month EPS and also P ratio with respect to forward EPS. We also call it forward P ratio. At this point, it's 20.23. Every day the forward P is going down. It used to be about 28 or 29 1 month ago. And I also have this table. This has the trailing P and the forward P historical data for last 12 quarters. And I also calculate the median, mean, average, and the maximum forward P for last 4 quarters because they are more relevant. And also I have this data that has EPS actual, closing price, and the EPS projected for last 12 quarters, and also the earnings surprise. And then I also calculated the mean, average, and the maximum earnings surprise for last 12 quarters. So using those data, I calculated the price projections for SMCI that should be valid after next earnings, and that is these. So these are my levels. For the minimum, I use the formula EPS forward, that is E4, that is this guy, and then I multiplied with the forward P for last 4 quarters, and then the third factor I have is M41, and that is the minimum value of the earning surprise. In this case, I put 0 because there was some negative earning surprise as well. So that gives me the minimum price 473. Similarly, I calculate the average price using the same formula, except the fact I'm using the average forward P for last 4 quarters. And the third one is the average earning surprise. That is this guy. Okay, and that gives the average price 729.6. And also I calculated the maximum price projection for SMCI using the same formula, except I'm using the maximum forward P for last 4 quarters, and also the third factor is the maximum earning surprise for last 12 quarters, and that gives 1021. So that's a big range, but and we know that SMCI belongs to the high variability stock. You see fluctuations on SMCI much higher than other AI stocks. So it's no surprise SMCI can move about 400 or 500 points in the next quarter. So I'm guessing SMCI should not go below this price. And this also depends on the earning numbers. If SMCI misses both earnings and the revenue, then SMCI will fall big time. But in the normal circumstances where SMCI able to beat the earnings, we won't expect SMCI to drop that big or go below 473 before the following earnings. That would be sometime in the end of October or November. That's all about price projections for SMCI after earnings. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.